All right. I see you 9 people on. Shout at me when you come on. Say something to me. Um, say something to me when you come in. All right. Yeah, I bet you all ears, Filomeno. You want to know, Filomena? Like these ladies are on edge. They want to know. If you've seen some of the questions I got in the, oh my God, for some of the people I want to say, you just need to leave him, boo. Like you just need to leave him because y'all need counseling. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I want to give him a few minutes to get on. Uh do me a favor and share this for all of my faithful viewership. Go ahead and share this so that others can experience. I got my questions ready, um, and we ready to rock and make it do what it do. I see you. Hey Q. Um, yeah, do me a favor and share me. Make sure. Okay, it's on both Facebooks. Go ahead and share me. And Kamari, you didn't speak to me Sunday. I was so happy to see you. So happy to see you. Amen. I think I'm going to help tonight. I think I'm going to help. I really think I'm going to help tonight as much as I can. And the Holy Spirit is going to help me to be able to get some information to you. Hey, Donna, grace and peace to all of you who are on. I still got 2 minutes. I came on earlier. We still got 2 minutes before the official time. But do me a favor and go ahead and share this. Um, yeah, go ahead and share this. So happy to see you, Kamar. Glad you're gonna be there. Cassandra, how are you? I think this is gonna be very helpful. I'm gonna start out sharing. Hey, Kathy, sharing a little bit, and then I'm going to get to the questions because I want to make sure that I get to your questions, which is going to bring out a whole lot more as I entertain those questions. So I don't want to. I'm not going to do a teaching expedition right now, but I do want to get to as many questions as I can, so that you can be able to get the answers you need. G, what's up, buddy? Nicole, how are you? Hello, Rochelle. Hey, Narsha. Grace and peace, all of you. All right. Now, if you just came on, share me real quick. Let's do a quick sharing blast on your page so others can experience it. It is 8. Um, and I know I came on a little early. That's just because I was super duper excited. I think this is going to be very helpful. All right, let's jump in, and then I'm going to answer some questions. There are some. Hey Anna, there are also some questions that came in late that I'm gonna try to get to as well. Hey D, so that I can be able to. I want to get you. I was with some men Sunday. I took a group of men with me to a park near the church, and we talked. We chopped it up. We chopped it up for over an hour or so. We ate and we chopped it up. One of the questions I proposed to them was, and I proposed this to even everybody. This is not just alive for your husband. It could be your son, your brother, your father, just men in general, your friend, or just men in just period. Um, your first. I asked them who's your first example of a man, because that is going to make the difference and that sets the tone for your life. Your first example is setting the tone for your perspective of men, the man that you desire, um, how you viewing, how you raise your son, how you interact with your husband, how you interact with your brother, or in men in general. It sets the tone. And so if you had the lack thereof, it explains. Or, it tells the story more than you know. And so I think it's important that we don't sometimes we don't look at a thing because it's too painful. And your refusal to look at it, it is what's hindering you understanding a man. There's a book written years ago that still sells and is relevant. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and we're on different planets. We operate differently. We process differently. And it's not an excuse for the way a man is, but it will give you intel on how a man's mind work. It'll give you intel on how a man's mind work. And that is important if you're going to coexist with a man, court a man, raise a young king, a young man, or just interact with men in general. And it's important that you understand we don't do enough intel. We don't do enough watching. We do a whole lot of trying to change. What's interesting is you want to change or try to change someone. What are you changing them to? You're changing them to your preferences. What if you're dysfunctional? What if your thought pattern is warped? What if you're still broken? So if I'm a broken man and I get with a woman and I'm trying to change her to be what I need, so I'm changing her to relate to my brokenness. If I'm a dysfunctional man, if I'm a hurting man, see, just because you have desires don't mean that they're legitimate. Just because you have expectations doesn't mean that don't mean that your expectations are warranted or even sound. It's important you get this because, oh, I know what I want. Well, your life is raggedy, you're broken, you're hurting, you're damaged, all these things. How can you know what you want? You know what you want based upon where you are, based upon your thinking, based upon your experiences, based upon your exposure or the lack thereof. So it's critical that I change me before I try to change he. I have to change me before I change he. I have to change myself before I try to change them. It's important. This is before I get to these questions, this is essential because if you're trying to change someone and you're damaged, you are causing them to adapt to your damaged thinking, your damaged lifestyle, your damaged habits, your damaged tendencies. You're making them become accustomed to damaged. And the worst thing you want to do is be with someone while you're damaged because you ain't going to always be damaged or broken. Are you listening? All right, let's get to the questions. If you have something you didn't know I was taking questions, you can message me. If I get to them, that'll be fine. But I have a set of questions that I need to get to, and I want you to share this if you can. Let's deal with the first one. All right, here's the first one. Does a man know right away if a woman is his wife? I think that's subjective, or it depends on the guy. Um, here's this catch this. Men play mind games all the time, right? Our motives are can be all the way from pure and honest, or testing you, or seeing how far I can go, or seeing what you allow me to do. What you allow a man to do, he will keep doing. So if you're dating a guy and you automatically have sex with him the first night, I don't there is a slim, very small chance that he will wife you, for the ladies. I'm not saying he won't. There are some exceptions, but there's a slim chance because he is not going to wife what you've already given him access to. So does a man know right away? I don't know if he knows right away. I know he starts testing you when he think. He'll test your trust. He'll test how far he can go with you. He'll test your body. He'll test your mind. He'll play those games to see how far he can go, what you allow him to do. Um, he starts testing you before he makes the decision if he's going to pursue you as a wife. So I don't think he knows right away. I think he starts testing you. He starts seeing what he can get away with, seeing how far you're gonna let him go, or how far will you go, what access you'll give to him. So not up front. I don't think right away he knows you're going to be his wife. He starts going through his testing time with you to see if you pass the test to be his wife. I hope that, let's go number 2. I hope that helped you. All right, number 2. Why is it difficult? Why is it so difficult for men to be vulnerable? Men don't grow up in vulnerability. Ladies do. Little girls grow up vulnerable. They grow up playing with dolls. They grow up with the Susie bake oven. They grow up playing house. They grow up doing hair. They grow up with. That's why women mature faster. Women mature faster. They learn faster. They solve problems faster because they're born stimulated. We aren't. When we are little, we play with trucks, we ram trucks, we play football, we roughhouse, we wrestle. Your little girl ain't wrestling in the living room. You don't let her wrestle. He's wrestling, he's running, he's just loud. He has been taught to play. You are being nurtured emotionally, women, at a very young age. We've been taught to play. So then when we get older, we know how to play. We're professional players. Whatever it is, we're professional in playing. We play this, we play that. We are on the hunt. Women are already matured 10 times more than we are. So you're ready for a relationship. We're ready to play. And so now you're asking someone who has never had to be vulnerable. Fall down on the ground. Get up, boy. You ain't hurt. Get back in that game. Get on up. You all right. You all right. This is what we do. You all right. You all right. He fall off the truck. Get up. You okay. You're a big boy. Big boy. Big boys don't cry. Big boys suck it up. Big boys. See what you're teaching them? Big boys don't cry. Big boys don't do that. Big boys don't whine. Big boys don't. So now you have told him to not be something that's natural. Don't cry. Don't whine. Don't. So what you're saying is don't feel. So you taught him, young boys are taught not to feel. If he in a football game, they lose the game. He's crying or angry. You're a sore loser. What you crying for? Just get back in there. Just get ready for the next game. Why he can't process that game? Why he can't cry over that game? He's just passionate. He's emotional. If he's a sensitive, why you acting like a little punk? Why you being so sensitive? Don't be crying. So now you telling him not to feel, not to be sensitive, not to be empathetic, not to have emotions, not to have a sensitive side, no sensitivity. Then as he grow up, now the lady says, why you not sensitive? You don't ever cry. Why you not affectionate? Because I wasn't raised that way. We have to be taught to be vulnerable. You want to know how we are taught to be vulnerable? Where women can teach us how to be vulnerable by creating a safe space for us to be vulnerable. We don't, you ladies can teach us. We have to be taught vulnerability because we turned it off. So now how do we turn it back on? You teach us. What if you don't want to be taught? No, every guy wants to be taught. They just are a different student and you're a different teacher. Teachers have to be patient. Teachers have to be creative. Teachers have to know how to do it. You ask me about your man, I'm teaching about, this is not to defend the man, but I'm giving you insight on the way we think and how we've been wired and how we've been reared. So now you have to teach us, but you have to be patient when you teach us. You have to be repetitive. Teachers are repetitive. Your teacher in high school taught the same lesson over and over, and every year they teach the same lesson over, and over. They teach calculus. They used to teach the same way. No new formula. It's the same textbook over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Well, sometimes you're going to have to, okay, when I try to hug him, he pushed me away. All right, that's one time. Try it again and again and again. I tried to talk to him. He didn't want to talk. Okay, it doesn't happen just because, oh, now I want to talk. It doesn't turn on that way. I haven't had to talk for 20 years. I don't know how to. You're a professional. You got a cycle. When you got a cycle, they hold it around you. Your mom, come here, baby. Let me show you how to do it. Oh, my baby. Your aunties grab them in the room, show them how to put on the feminine napkin, and then came and let them be emotional, gave them candy, gave them all this and that. Oh, that baby, she got her first. Come here, baby. Yeah, no, you ain't got to go to school today. You ain't got to do nothing. Come here. Come here. Lay down. You okay? You see the emotional cultivation of that little girl when she gets her cycle? She's cultivated. She's encouraged. She's allowed to feel that way. No girl with her cycle do you say, suck it up, girl. Suck it up. Everybody get these. Sit down. I don't want to hear that. Suck it up. You got to be, don't be no little punk. Don't be no little punk. She's cramping. She's hurting. Don't be no little punk. Suck it up. No, you don't say that. You're so soft and gentle, soothing, caressing. You do all of that. Why? You're cultivating her so now she knows what it feels like at a young age. When we don't get cycles. So when have we been cultivated? When is your son? Your son may be sensitive. Are you trying to change that? Or are you embracing that he's a sensitive kid? He's not like your other brother. He's not like your other son. Who cultivates us? We're left on an island. So then now you ask, why is it difficult for men to be vulnerable? Because men only be vulnerable in places where they trust the person with their emotions. If I release my emotions to you and you use them against me, or you shut them down, or whatever you may do, you don't cultivate them, I will never be vulnerable with you again. I don't trust you with my vulnerability. I'm already a novice at it. So now I don't trust you with my vulnerability. I will never be vulnerable with you again. He won't talk to me. Probably because you cut him off every time he talk. Probably because he ain't expressing himself right. So you're frustrated with it. Probably because you told him, I don't want to hear that mess. You just caught. I just got you. Probably because I'm giving you intel. I'm answering your questions to the best of my ability by the wisdom of the Holy Ghost. Why is it so difficult for men to be vulnerable? We weren't taught to be vulnerable. Neither were our emotions cultivated. They just weren't. I hope you get in this. All right, let me go to the next one. I'm just popping them up there just like they was written. I ain't adding nothing to it or taking nothing away. Why is it difficult for men to forgive, admit, or deal with childhood traumas? It goes a little bit with what I just talked about. Why men at the core of a man is a little boy. There's a kid in every king. And most of the time, he is terrified, but he expresses it wrong. He's terrified, but it comes out as anger. He's terrified, but it comes out as running. He's terrified, but it comes out as non communicative. He's terrified, but it comes out in drinking. He's terrified, but it comes out in alcohol. I mean, in drugs. He's terrified. It comes out in an affair. He's terrified. That's why I don't be so quick to marry a broken man. Don't marry a broken man. You have to be friends to a broken man and help him with his brokenness. Why is it difficult for men to forgive, admit, or deal with childhood traumas? He is afraid. He is scared out of his mind, and he does not know how to express that. Remember, most men have never been cultivated. So if they've never been cultivated, they become quiet. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, if you go to a seminar that's teaching on Einstein's theory of gravity, how much talking you gonna do? If you go to a conference that's teaching on calculus and geometry and physics, and you know nothing about that, what do? No, somebody answer me. What do you do if you go to a conference of the such and you're sitting in there, you have to be there? What do? You shut up because you don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know what they're talking about. Let me close my little dumb mouth because I don't know what to be quiet. Thank you, Danielle. You're going to be quiet. So when a man is quiet, it is an indication he don't know what is going on and what to say. And you know what happens when he don't know what to say? His pride comes in and he then says stupid stuff. If a man starts saying stupid stuff like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, he don't know what he's talking about. If a man says dumb stuff like, man, get out my face, I don't want to hear none of that, he don't know what to say. I'm not saying it's right. I'm giving you inside scoop on a guy. I'm not saying he's right, but I'm telling you, when he shuts you down, it's because his pride has stepped in, because he's afraid and he don't know what to say and he don't know how to respond. He doesn't know how to respond. So you ask, why is it difficult? Number one, we weren't raised that way. We wasn't raised to share, to express, and to deal with the trauma. And we are afraid. We are afraid. And when we are afraid, we shut down. And then when you keep coming at us and we've shut down, now we respond in anger and we respond in agitation out of our ignorance. There need to be 3,000 people on this call here. All right, let's go to the next one. Why are men inconsistent? Because they probably were raised by inconsistent men. Why are men inconsistent? Because we probably were raised by inconsistent men. There is no other reason. You ask why are men inconsistent? Not all men are, but we can speak from some men that you're speaking of. We are a direct result of who raised us. It doesn't excuse our ability to change. I think we should be consistent, but it takes a willingness. This is why you don't rush into marriage, because this is the type of stuff people rush into marriage because of flesh and an attraction. They rush into marriage. And then once they rush into marriage, then they want to say, okay, now I'm gonna fix everything, because the physical doesn't do it anymore. You rushed into marriage. A lot of women, a lot of women will get intimate with a man to get him caught up. He gets intimate because it's just flesh. It doesn't have to be no, to a man, does not have to be no attachment. No attachment. Ladies, this might shock you. And I do not agree with it. I've never cheated, right? Infidelity of the flesh isn't a big, it shouldn't be your biggest concern. It is the infidelity that comes with the emotional connection that a man has. If he's texting her, talking to her all day, this, you should be more afraid of a man. You catch a man texting and talking to a woman all day, connecting with her, sharing his heart with her, never had sex with her, but sharing his heart with her, talking about his problems, talking about his issues. She's listening to what he's doing. She's listening to his ear. She's being that ear for him. That's who you should be afraid of, versus a man who just going out sleeping with somebody coming home. I ain't saying he right, but the first guy, that's more dangerous, because there is now a connection that's greater than the physical. You so concerned who you been sleeping with, who you been, no. You should be concerned who you been talking to, who you been sharing insight, who you been giving your heart to, who you been. That's more dangerous. That is more dangerous than the physical. Why are men inconsistent? Who raised them will make a difference, and you need to take time to know where that person comes from. Don't marry somebody because, oh, I just love them. Oh, they make me feel so good and they treat me. You got to ask the tough questions. After y'all been dating a little bit and y'all go down to dinner, don't just sit there and tell me, oh, you look so good. Oh, God, you so fine. I'm so glad. No. Tell me about your mama. Tell me about your daddy. Who raised you? I'm doing marriage counseling with couples right now, and I'm asking them, who coaches each of you? I asked the guy, do you have a coach or a mentor in your life? I asked the female, who mentors you? These are the questions you need to be asking, instead of asking, this, how you fine, you look good, you gonna treat me right. No. I need to know who's speaking into your life. I need to know who you're accountable to. I need to know who can tell you to shut up, sit down. I need to know who you're around that's giving you insight, who's stretching you. Ask them, what books are you reading? What was your last relationship? Why did y'all break up? You don't ask that. Instead of asking his shoe size and his jeans and all this other stuff and his print and all this dumb stuff, you ain't ask. The physical will get old. You need to start asking some real questions that will give longevity. His inconsistency will be a direct result of who speaking into his life, who spoke into his life, and in the future, who will be speaking into his life, who is speaking now, who have spoken in the past, and who will be speaking in the future. Those will determine why a man is inconsistent. I did say it, Jasmine. I sure did. All right. Why get married and not treat your spouse as God says? Why get married and not speak? I don't know. That I've been talking about a whole lot of stuff, and I don't know. That question there sounds like it comes just from an angry, frustrated place. And I don't know how to answer that. Why get married and not treat your wife? They shouldn't. I don't know. That's not one I can answer. Why put your family before your wife? Now, I want to raise this question. Why would you make them choose? You ever want to get in? He should choose you. Therefore, let a man leave his mother and father, cleave to his wife to become one flesh. But this is stuff you find out before you married. If he is have an unhealthy attachment to his mother, why would you not want him to have the relationship with his family, with his children that are not yours? I don't understand that. You should ask about it. You should cultivate that. You should have a conversation with his mama. Find out why he's so connected to her. You could learn something, or don't be with him. So you fight the wrong battles. You're fighting. Well, why you talk? Why you call your mom? You ain't call me. Why you do this? Why you went by your mama's house? I need you here. You're just fighting and being catty, and you will push him further over there. Why don't you have a conversation with his mama? Talk to her. Why you won't talk to her? And find out, what is it? How did you raise him? I would take his mama to lunch. I would take his mama to lunch, and I would be talking. Tell me how you raised him. Yeah. If you love him, tell me how did you raise him? What are some memorable moments you have of him growing up? Oh, the football game. Oh, one incident we do. I'm collecting data. I'm collecting data. I'm collecting data. I'm collecting information. So then I'm going to be applying what I got that causes him to be so connected to the female gender. Forget it's his mom, this female gender, because his mom is a female, and so are you. What is this female doing? Well, I ain't gonna treat him like his mom. Well, his mama's loving him, cultivating him. Sometimes it can be an extreme, it can be unhealthy. You don't have to be unhealthy with it, but you could balance it to make it say, I'm going to, it's more than sex. You can't whip him like that. You're gonna have to say, I'm now gonna make it to where he wanna come home and be with me. What's making him want to come home and be with you? Instead of you fighting with his mama, what would make him want to come home and be with you? Instead of you being in competition with her, what would make him want to come home and be with you? Don't make him choose his family. You just be what you need to be with him and express your heart to him, not in an argumentative way. Express your heart to him. I hope I'm helping somebody. You shouldn't be married to him. You knew that was before. You knew this is the stuff you do while you're dating. Exactly. She got the cheat codes, Cassandra. She got his heart. His mama has his heart. Do you get his heart? If you love him, why you gotta fight? How do you know when a man has potential but needs guidance? His decision making. His conversation. Oh man, a woman can push a man to the next level. Are you listening to me? A woman can take, I tell the story. There was Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were at a restaurant, and it just happened to be a restaurant. The owner of the restaurant, Michelle, used to date. The owner of the restaurant, Michelle Obama, used to date. So Barack, they were in the restaurant, and Barack said, just think, if you wouldn't have been married to me, you'd be co-owners of this restaurant. Michelle said, darling, if I was married to him, he'd be president of the United States. God, dog. I said, that's a bad woman. That's a bad woman. She says, if I was married to him, he would have been president. That's a bad woman. That is a bad woman. You have the potential. You have the potential. Eve had the potential to influence a man in an amazing way. Woman, all you ladies on here, you have the potential to influence a man in such a powerful way. You can make him or you can break him. You can develop him or you can ditch him. You can encourage him or you can discourage him. You can push him or you can prevent him. You have an amazing gift, woman. And there's more women. You have an amazing gift, woman, to shift a man, be it your sons, your father, your brothers, or your husband. I'm telling you, you can make him. My wife would encourage me. She speaks life to me. She's been a teacher to me. She's been a mentor to me. She's been a leader. She's been my lover. She has mothered me in some instances. She's been my greatest encourager. pusher, a challenger, all of that. I am what I am today because of the amazing woman who stands next to me. Now, she could be nasty and hateful. She could be discourageable. She could be condescending. She could be antagonistic. She could be catty. She could be just nasty. She could be. And I would not be where I am now. I wouldn't have the church I have now. I wouldn't be leading like I'm leading. I wouldn't be standing like I'm standing. I wouldn't be the man I am now. So it can go both ways. Are you listening to me? So if you see the man has potential, use what you got. Use your influence. Use your ability to make a man better. Am I helping anybody? Y'all say something to me if I'm helping you. Am I helping you? Why is it hard for a man to be accountable? Why is it hard for a man to be accountable? Again, see, holding someone accountable doesn't mean they have to respond to your account, to you holding them accountable. You just have to hold them accountable. This is the myth. This is the myth. You believe that holding him accountable means he should do what I say. Accountability and control can be a thin line. There's a thin line with accountability and control. Because most of your accountability is to make him do what you want him to do. I want him to do. Are you holding him accountable so he can be better, or so that he can be better for you, or that he can do what you want him to do? Is your accountability got a large dosage of control in it? Accountability, if I tell my wife said, hold me accountable, I want to be healthy, so I want to go and work, I want to go walk with you every morning, hold me accountable. If I go to her and say, hey babes, it's 7:30, you ready? I ain't going today. Okay. I held her accountable. I went to walk. See, accountability doesn't mean that I go in there and say, get on up. You said you were going to walk with me. Get your butt up, put the shoes on. That's control. That's not accountability. That's not holding somebody accountable. That's controlling them. So you have to ask yourself the question with an honesty. Am I asking them to be accountable, or am I trying to control them? Two different things. Two different things. So then I go back Tuesday. Hey, babes, it's 7:30. You ready? I'm tired. I don't go. Okay, I'm going out. I'm walking. I ain't mad with her. I don't come back and say, see, that's what's wrong with you now. You ask somebody to hold you accountable, but every time I come say something, you don't be ready. Every time I come in here, you still sleep. Every time. That's not accountability. I don't want you to hold me accountable, because you don't know how to hold me accountable. I ain't where I need to be yet. Accountability is just you presenting the opportunity and you allow them to respond. You understand? So then maybe it might be Friday where she say, I come in her head, oh, you putting your shoes on. Let's get it, baby. That's it. She didn't do it Monday. She didn't do it Tuesday. She didn't do it Wednesday. She didn't do it Thursday. I'm going to use you all day, baby Baba. It's my wife. But she did it Friday. She did it Friday. We walked. So I don't beat her. I don't use that against her. I don't manipulate her with that. I don't go in there and say, look at you now. Look at it. Or somebody, I want you to hold me accountable so I eat right. Okay. If I say, hey, you probably shouldn't eat that. I want it. Eat it. That's it. Not see that. That's why I want to hold. Don't ask me to hold you accountable no more. Because every time I try to come to you, you don't do it. I'm using simple things, but I can take that into your relationship with a man. That if you go to using it as a weapon, they ask you to hold them accountable, and you sit up and now you're condescending, you're jabbing, you side talk, you're sticking it to them, this and that. No, of course, no, I don't want you to hold me accountable. Are you listening to accountability? Doesn't require them to do what you say. Accountability is just that. I'm holding you accountable, but you have to respond. And I have to be patient enough to let you respond. I have to be patient, have empathy and grace with you. So that don't mean I quit on you. I'm not going to quit on you. It may be 3 months before she go. I'm not quit on you. That's the partnership. That's accountability. It's not control. It's accountability. Am I helping? It's 124, 30 of us on here. I hope I'm helping somebody. All right. Why y'all only cry? This somebody told me to put this on here and they say, please say it. Why y'all only cry at your weddings over lost basketball games? All right. I talked about it earlier, the emotional connection a man has. Here's what's important. All right. Unlike women, men keep score. It's sad. It's not. When I tell you the way we think, don't get the impression I'm saying it's right or there doesn't need to be change. I'm making you aware of how our brains work sometimes. I'm not saying we're right in some instances, but I am giving you some intel so you'll know, okay, Owens told me about this. So then Holy Spirit help me how do I approach this? Okay, why y'all only cry at weddings or over lost football? Because our connection to those are greater than you. And I'm not saying it's right, but again, this should let you know that he does have the ability to express his emotions. He does have the ability to express these emotions. Well, come on up here then to my office, Coach K. They would love to see you. They think you want. Well, come on up here. It's important for you to understand this, that our emotional makeup is different than a female's emotional makeup. And our connections are different. And so understanding that, I ain't saying it's right, but you know what? What would my son said something to me today. He says, man, you know what blessed me, Pop? He says, my wife would watch games with me. She would watch football games with me, watch basketball games, and sit there and be engaged, involved with it with me. And he loved that. He loved that. That made him express something to me. And I told him, tell your wife that too, because I'm teaching men to express themselves and open their mouth and say stuff, and not just hold it in. But a woman needs to know when they are doing something that you like. A woman needs to know when they're doing something that you appreciate. I tell my wife plenty of times, all the time, she'll tell you of what I appreciate about her. More so lately, I've been doing it a whole lot. It's critical that you take interest in what interests him. If you want him to take interest in what interests you, then you have to take interest in what he is interested in. You don't care, buy that football jersey too. Sit down and watch that game. It's just one night. You'll be amazed of the connection y'all will have if you partake in some of the stuff he like. Instead of, I ain't thinking about no football. I don't want to watch that. And you just go in the room, close the door. He's sitting out there. Then he going to start going to watch it other places and different things. And I ain't saying that you have to always do it, but I'm saying it will be much helpful and healthy to y'all's connection if y'all find some things that y'all could do together. And it may not be something that same thing with him. He need to do some stuff you like. You want to go ice skating, and he tell me, no, he go ice skating with you. Oh, what a connection. It's a simple fact that you are doing something I like to do, something that I want to do. Why do men internalize things instead of coming right out saying what's going on? I already addressed that. Um, when we don't have answers and are living in pride, um, then we will internalize or shut down. Sometimes men shut down um, because they don't know what to say, and because maybe you say too much or you dominate the conversation. I ain't saying, listen to when I say this. He should communicate, he should talk. But again, if he's not a talker and he's already quiet and a non-verbal communicator, shouldn't you be a little delicate in your conversation to invite him into the conversation? I remember um, Ben Tankard's wife. Um, she said she knew the call to pastor was on his life. So what she would do is she would come and sit beside him, open up a Bible, start reading, and say, "Hey, what does mean, honey?" And he starts, because that's when we're gonna puff our chests out, say, "Oh, let me show you what this means." Before you know it, an hour or two done gone by, and they having Bible study. Delicate. They're having Bible study, right? They're having Bible study. He didn't even know that a wise woman builds up her house. A wise woman knows how to get the best out of her dumb husband, because we could be dumb sometimes. Dumb little boys is what my wife would call us. And I'm telling you, boys, why we internalize because we don't know what to say, and he may not trust you emotionally. Because if you go and tell everybody their business, or you or go off on him, or you loud, or you fuss at him all the time, or you are controlling, then he is going to shut down and he is not going to talk to you. He is not going to communicate with you because he is intimidated, he is afraid, and he doesn't know how to approach or talk to you. He's going to shut down. If your man is shutting down, then that should take you into prayer or have a conversation with, well, why do you shut down on me? And allow him to express that. It may be first, he may be, I don't know, I don't want to, but then, no, honey, I really want to know. I want to hear you. I want to hear your heart. I want to know how you feel. See, I realize that when my wife or when you invite somebody with care and being delicate with them, it gives them a space to express. No, no, no. I want to hear what you guys say. No, no. Why you shutting down on me? I want to hear. I need to know. It's not going to work. You have to be able to create that. You gotta, it's almost with kitty gloves. You want them to talk, right? It's almost with kitty gloves. And engage with what he's talking about. Tell me, I want to know your heart, honey. Tell me your heart. When is the last time you said that? I want to know your heart. I want to know the vision you have for this family. I'm so eager to follow you. I'm so committed and loyal. I did a teaching of pastors with pastors and spouses. Coach K took the men, I took the females. The number one thing that a man needs is the ability to trust you and to know you will have his back. He's had so many people disappoint him and let him down. He needs to know you have his back, and he needs to know he can trust you even when you don't fully understand him yet. I'm just trying to show you how to get to his heart. I'm not saying he should not talk to you and express you, but if you love this man and you want to get to his heart, and he already is a non-verbal communicator, then you got to create the space, the ambience, if you're married, Find those. You got to be wise, woman. Find that vulnerable moment. If you're married and y'all just were intimate, he'll talk. He gonna talk. Or prior to, he's gonna talk. He is going to talk. You use it for everything else. Use it so he can talk. You use your pocketbook to go buy a pocketbook. You use your pocketbook to go get money so that you can go shopping. You use your pocketbook for every other reason. Use it to bring the best out of him. Your pocketbook. So my wife is on here, so I can't say what I want to say, but I said your pocketbook. Won't you use it to make him better, to develop him, to get it out of him, to create that safe space, to grab him, hold him afterwards? Honey, I want to know your heart. I want to be that soft place for you. I want to be that soft place for you. I want to be your right. I want to be the Bonnie to your Clyde. I want to be right there. I want to know what you're thinking. You see what I'm saying? This is critical. If you want him to open up, you ignore him, he's just going to keep internalizing. All right. So you got to find creative ways to pull it out of him. Don't tell me you can't do it. You do it with your son. You're so soft with your son. You talk so soft. Your son done did more to you than your husband. Your son done betrayed you, took stuff from you. He betrayed you when he got that girl. When that girlfriend, you thought you was the main girl, didn't you? Until she came along. And you was kind of envious of her because now he always with her. And he go everywhere she go. She say jump, he say how high. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say to you is you have the ability to be soft with him because you're soft with your son. All right, I'm trying to get to them, and I got to get to the question. Why do men think they are failures if they are unable to provide financially for the family for a moment? Because a man, if he was raised the way I was raised, with taking care of his family, my father took care of us. He was he struggled with alcoholism, but the bills were paid. We had a roof over our head. We had food to eat. He always took care of us. So there's a sense of pride in taking care of your family. It's a love language to us. It's how we say we love you. I got you. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna take care of you. That makes a man feel good. It makes a man feel good that he can provide for his family. He can take care of his family. So then in the instance where he can't, he needs encouragement from you more than ever. And I know it's hard. My wife will tell you that it's hard sometimes because I'm that guy. I don't too much hardly want her paying for anything, and will not tell her if we're struggling with something. And I realized that wasn't fair, especially if she's going to be to help me or be on the same team. But it's a constant struggle with men who were raised like me. But it takes a lot of encouragement, like she does. I'm here, honey. How am I going to help you if you don't talk to me? How am I going to be there if you don't talk? How am I you know what I mean? And I had to, this is what I tell men. It makes her feel like she is not your helpmeet, or she's inadequate, or she's not in it with you. I know. I'm just trying to tell you how we think. This broadcast is what you need to know about men. This broadcast is not to fix men. So if you came on here that I'm gonna show you how to fix a man, that wasn't the title of this broadcast. The title of this broadcast is what you need to know about men. So it is a way that we communicate our love by taking care of our family, taking care of our children. This is how we say I love you. It does a man good. I go out to dinner. My wife ain't never paying for no dinner. We go out to dinner. My wife not paying for no dinner, even if she had the money. I just not my makeup. You know what I'm saying? If she gonna pay, she gonna have to prepay because it's just difficult. because this is how I say I love you. So then when I'm not able to do that, I need a little more reassurance. It's going to take communication. And I know I can hear your head. I told him, no, Apostle. I keep telling him. Well, keep telling him. Keep reassuring him, because it's a constant battle for him. It's not just because you tell him, he might feel, okay, baby, I got you, I understand. But tomorrow, them same thoughts gonna come in his head. Man, look at your family. Look what they ain't got. Look what they ain't strong. And you, on the other hand, saying, honey, if we just had bologna sandwiches, I will be fine. I am good. I'm standing with you in your vision. I'm standing with you in your purpose. I promise you, he knows that and feels that. But say it. Keep communicating it. Keep telling him. That's your man. Keep telling him. Keep encouraging him. Keep speaking to him. Keep telling him, I'm with you. I'm with you with a job, without a job. I'm with you with purpose, not in purpose. You always taking care of us. So now that you ain't doing it, I'm going to help. I got you. I got your back, baby. And then there are other ways you could do it, by allowing him to do it. My wife is the type of woman, if I didn't have money and we were at a restaurant, she would slide it over to me. She would not pay. My wife wouldn't pay. She would slide it over into my hand so I can pay. She would slide it over so that I can have it. She understands the kind of man I am. Oh, I ain't finna stroke his ego. You just need to let me pay you. No, that's not how you. If my wife was insecure, I would not be hugging women at the church. I would be shaking hands. How you doing? God bless. Hey, so good to see you. God bless. But my wife ain't insecure. I kiss my spiritual sons and daughters. I'm hugging them, loving on them. She lets me do it. But if she was insecure because of something she was going through, I'm not going to, oh, you just got to get over that. This is my assignment. Why you acting like that? No, obviously there's something going on that don't have nothing to do with me. And so I'm going to be her friend. I'm going to be her brother. I'm going to be that guy that stands next to her. And I'm not going to add insult to injury to make her feel like, oh, you just need to get over this. This is my assignment. No, I am going to pause all of that so that I can help build this woman of God up. So I can help her become what she need to be. I don't want to add to what she's already struggling with. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you do with that question. You keep reassuring him, keep speaking life to him, keep encouraging him, keep standing with him, keep being there for him, keep pushing him. You see what I'm saying? Find creative way here, honey. Give, whatever. Just keep speaking, and he's gonna have those moments, because that's, if you're a real man, you want to take care of your family. I don't care how much my wife reassure me, I'm still gonna have moments. I'm still gonna have moments to where I get it, baby, but it's just me. It's not you. All right. Why men don't feel they have to practice celibacy? In that meeting, the first thing I told ladies about, I said a man's needs. The number one need. Now you got to hear me. We talk. This is grown folks talk. You asked about a man. I'm not gonna be vulgar. My wife won't let me. But the number one need a man has is sex. It's a huge need. He has to learn how to master that. But you know what happened for the person who asked this question? Most men are introduced to sex in a dysfunctional way. Our first introduction to sex is pornography for about 75-80% of men. 75-80% of men, their first introduction to sex is pornography. So he already has a warped sense of what it is, and with an extreme sex drive. Now, should he be celibate? Yes. Why? Because that's what the Bible says. But in the real world, let's talk. This world is full. Everything is sex. If it's a diaper commercial, they got a woman in a bikini changing the diaper. If it's an insurance commercial, she bending over picking up. It's always sex is everywhere. So it is extremely hard for a man, extremely hard. Our sex drive is different, and our sex is communicated differently than a woman, from majority to minority. My wife would always tell me, not for everyone. I'm talking about majority, minority. Our sexual appetite is different than it is for a woman. Right? We're dumb little boys. We don't we don't know nothing about foreplay. We don't know nothing about romance. It's just come on, and we're just dumb, and that's because of our drive and our introduction. So a man needs sex a whole lot, so he has to fight very hard to practice celibacy. Is it possible? Yes, but in the real world, you're probably not gonna find a virgin unless you catch him. It's gonna be very hard. It's possible, but it's be very hard to find a virgin. So I'm gonna leave that right there. Um, is there something you can do to encourage or bridge a conversation when your male friend goes silent? Um, Reassurance. That's a very good question. I like that too. Not always talking about husband. Um, be a friend to him. Be a friend to him. Um, and wait. Sometimes friendship requires patience to wait until they're ready to talk. He will talk. He may not be ready to talk right now. And if you're a friend to him, then you'll be patient, but always let him know, hey, I'm here if you need somebody to talk to. Hey, I'm here. I got you. You see what I'm saying? It's hard and it's difficult. Somebody sneaking into my space. It's hard and it's come on over here. Come on. Come on. Yes, come on. They want you to come. Come on. It's hard and it's difficult. You gonna stand? I was gonna get up. I was about to get up. It's hard and it's difficult, but a male friend. My wife had a lot of male friends, and she's more privy to be friends with guys than females, just because she just relates to them. But I think if you go silent, just reassure, let them know I'm here. I got you. When you're ready to talk, and be patient, because we process differently, we process longer. But just be that friend. Did you have something you want to say before I go to this next?
I'm musing still.
You okay. Can go to the next one. Oh, that's the one. That's where I didn't want to go to that one. What he says, why do? Okay, I went to the wrong way.
Okay, I make you nervous.
Yes, you're so hot. Should you tell your spouse each and everything you've done before marriage?
No.
I say no too. Why? Why? Okay, let me ask you a question. Why do some women keep asking or want to know?
Because the social culture has made it be the norm that bodies are counted, or this number thing is that. I mean, if it's going to be the same reciprocated, what's his number? Because I believe that in this world where we allow men to get away with, the quotas that are accepted, and then we then hold ourselves hostage to what they have then been tamed to expect. I wouldn't even say trained, because they've been tamed. They're like little dumb boy animals. And if we allow them to stay, there's a hierarchy that goes with the male and female. I'm all for that order, that. But when it comes down to that type of pettiness, I mean, if you want to go do blood tests and do all of that, that's fine. But we ain't got to talk. That's when we have a official engagement, and that matters. Because what? Cancer, AIDS, that type of thing. But we don't have to talk about bodies on bodies on bodies. That ain't your business. Just worry about it. Like Ball Greasy say, if you had it before, I bet you can't do it now.
Oh, Jesus. I'm so scared I brought you in here talking about Ball Greasy. Don't you ever say nothing about what I say. You done brought Ball Greasy into our. So somebody sent me a text message, says, I hear, they says, What you're saying about a pastor and his wife sitting out reading the Bible next to him. But when do you step out of that? Like if you're dating someone that's a minister or someone that has the title, when does the title come off and you get to know that person? I know you want that. Let me say this, then I'm gonna let you jump into that. Um, it's two things you're gonna have to happen. If you want more than that, then you have to invite that space. And you have to communicate like, I don't want to talk about no Bible tonight. I want to talk about me and you. I want to talk about other things. Now, if they resist that, then you have to make a decision that I don't want this because they may not know how to do that. Like someone was sending me questions and they just throwing Bible scripture, Bible. That ain't never been me that I'm just going to hide behind religion and hide behind spirituality and people never get to see who you really are. And so I think it's important that you should be able to talk. There's nothing off limits. You should be able to say, you know what? I don't like the way we're going. Like I love Jesus. I love the word and all, but our relationship there has to be some other stuff, some other components to our relationship. Travel, hobbies, different stuff, future compatibility.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how you discover those things. And again, if you're dating someone who you aren't comfortable enough with and you're letting them ride or escape through a title, then I question the interviewer, because you have to know what it is that you want in a person, because he could be a pastor, a minister, or he could be the general manager of Target. I mean, whatever it is, I don't want to be connected or married to a title. I don't want to be with the boss. I don't want to be with the big man or the owner. I want to be with Jer Bear, you know?
With who?
Jer Bear.
Who is that?
You and PJ. But that's and the more what I'm learning when I talk to men want confident women who can stimulate their minds. Their minds. So many women are coming and you think that you can talk to a man the way that you talk to someone else or your peer or your sister, and a man wants respect. A man wants you to approach him in a manner, I don't know about all that, and you can't talk to where he's going to be secure in you emotionally, secure in you coming to want to come home to that safe place, secure enough to say that I've gone through hell outside of there, but I want to be real enough here. This is where you could come and take off that cape, because I don't want that. As a matter of fact, go wash those dishes. Like, you have to have those type of normal expectations. You're an apostle, but you're my husband. Exactly. So that means you could be my friend, my brother, my dog. Look, let's ride out, or let's sit here and study the word. It has to be the diversity. There have to be dimensions in your relationship.
So let me see. I think I'm almost there. What's the next? Yeah, we're almost there. Let me see what I said. Oh, should you tell them everything? No. Why men can easily correct you but hate being corrected? Now, I'm gonna run you out of here in a minute, doing all this popping and locking. Again, I think during the dating process, y'all don't talk about the tough stuff. Y'all don't have the tough conversations. Y'all spend all y'all time playing footsies and looking at each other and Googling, giggling, and trap playing. You don't ask the tough questions. You have to realize when you're talking about being with someone for a very long time, you got to ask the tough questions. When you're talking about marrying someone, you got to ask tough questions, right, and not just be so quick to have a body or have somebody. Because when you think about, if he doesn't like to be correct, he's dealing with some pride issues. I don't know the whole situation, but that's just pride on display. Because if you get married with somebody, both of you coming in saying, hey, I want to be better for you. You want to be better for me. What do I need to do to be better for you? Exactly. Those conversations are the ones that need to be had. What can I do to be better for you? How? and what, those are that's, you got to have these tough
You know what
conversations.
else is important too? Like why men can easily correct but hate being corrected because you were soft in the beginning and you tried to put your best foot forward and
Mm,
spray all of that expensive perfume and now the bottle empty and
that's good.
you snapping back. I
That's
mean, I'm
good.
using that figuratively, but you have to start off, and that's why start off being who you are. Be consistent to thine own self, be true. That wasn't a plug. That's very serious because if I introduce you to Chris, you're going to know Christy, you're going to know KP, you're going to know KPO. I am me all the way around. I am not this person in front of my husband and then somebody else in front of my friend girls or my dad or my mom. I am me 24/7. I'm even Steven. And I think that you don't do the tough or have the tough conversations in the beginning, where when you see how he responds when he's angry, when you see how he responds to his mother, his children. I mean, you can look in every compartment of their lives and see like, wow, I ain't like that. And let's have a conversation. Friend who I'm getting to know, friend who's my husband, friend. Why did you look like that? Remember when I
Yeah.
asked you, why do you answer the phone like that?
Yeah.
That's a tough conversation. But I wasn't afraid. I'm not afraid of the answers.
But the problem is they become intimate before they get intel.
Right.
And when you
You
become,
have to be a smart,
but when you,
intimate
but
intel collector.
no, when you become intimate or have sex with a person, you ignore flags, you ignore stuff that you could walk away from. It makes it tough. I was just talking with somebody about this, and it's evident when you know something you don't like, and then you're coming trying to get help for them. That already tells me you vested into it.
Absolutely.
And now you're trying to find a way to justify being, yeah, but you've already given something you shouldn't have given to them. And so now you struggling with leaving because now they're going to be taking a part of you. See, it's critical that there's no problem. There is nothing wrong with making somebody wait. There's nothing wrong with you being patient. That's not, but the problem is you're trying to hook him. You're trying to hook him because you feel like, right, you feel like this is my shot, this is my opportunity. Let me grab this. Let me not, because there's so much competition out there. This goes into other things.
Lack of confidence.
Because it's lack of confidence. Because we live in this sexual world and it's thrown at them. You're trying to make sure that he knows that I'm the best. Yeah, yeah.
And instead of I ask women, because I talk to a lot of men. I ask women, what makes you different? What makes you different when you meet a man? What makes him think like, wow, he can be trying to play the game of I ain't gonna call her back in 48, 72, 90 hours, but he's sitting there thinking about you, musing. What type of conversation did you have? What have you invested in yourself to then want to be connected with somebody that's invested in themselves? You don't even know what to look for. That's why many times then you connect with somebody that you really didn't get to know, but because you were intimate first, and now it's hard to recant back mileage, ladies, or your a pocketbook being too heavy. Because I heard you say the pocketbook. Because once you don't, if you have a purse and you scratch the edges, what do they ask you if you try to sell it or look at it? Is it fair? What condition? Fair, pristine,
mint,
look, or just gently used, whatever it is, whatever it is. But still have the confidence about yourself, because no matter what a situation, if I would have had 10 kids when you met me, as long as I was handling my business, doing what I need to do, it don't matter how many baby daddies I had. I'm handling my business and my blood is clean. So don't worry about that. We good over here. Now, do you have the resilience to be able to handle my world? See, we're not approaching, this is what you need to know about your man. And I'm not contradicting any of that. It's just we have to stop the excuses, even when it comes to gender. Because expectation wise, I'm supposed to expect a certain level of emotional security from you. In a relationship, I'm supposed to be our feelings and where we are compromised. I'm supposed to reciprocate that willingness to bend, to be pliable. I'm supposed to be being better, the best version of myself. But we often come in and connect with somebody who is, we're doing the work, and you may be on floor number 33. And now you with somebody who's in the mailroom in the basement. Now, what I mean about that is a mindset.
Yeah.
Now he's your project. You are determined. See, because you're on floor 32, and if you can do it, you know he can do it.
Yeah.
That's not compatibility. That's not compatibility. That is settling. And I'm not saying, because I used to say, when can I get out the mailroom? I was earning that space in your life. That means earning a space. How does he handle this? How is he with his children? How are things? Because I'm not immediately attracted to somebody. I'm not immediately impressed. So you take care of your kids. So what? I mean, that's not something we have to make men being mature and responsible and accountable normal. Instead, when we see it, that's trending. Why? Well, your expectations are so low, my dear. We if God says that we can have life and have it more abundantly, it starts with our new mindset. So our mindset, the newness has to be challenged. How else are you going to learn? You have to be challenged. You have to be willing to be that student forever. So you have to be humble enough, no matter where you are, and accept the type of love and especially correction in a relationship, friendship, motherhood, all of those ships. If not, somebody gonna jump overboard. Yeah. And we don't have enough life jackets because we don't know how to swim.
Good.
We don't know how to swim. So we don't invest in ourselves. We don't invest in the next level. And then when someone else desires or expects that from us, we think, oh, who they think they are. I'm someone who has expectations, and you're bucking the system, and that's okay. But you're going to get left in the wind, because now the more you are disciplined with loving yourself and giving yourself all this stuff, you won't have a limited expectations from just a man. It should be no open equation that Christy plus who. You can't, not anybody can just fill in that blank just because they're a male. Oh, doesn't work. I don't care how much money you got. I got money too. I don't care where you've been. I've been there too. I don't care. All of that stuff is not impressive. What's going on up here and in here? And do they align with what it is that I need and I desire? Because what I don't have, I'm expecting him to have a whole bunch. And a lot of it is they think like, well, her expectations are up here. Why shouldn't they be? I can amend, but why should I come down? Why? If a woman does not understand me, why? Because a man is intimidated, why? Because we can come to the table and, oh, I didn't mean that. That wasn't my intentions, but I still expect an answer. Did I offend you? I apologize, but I still want you to do better. So I just wanted the excuses have to be eliminated.
When you say excuses, what do you mean? From who?
Well, when and like I said, I was agreeable with, the things and answering them. I just want, no matter what gender, but because I'm a woman, I have to talk about it, that men make those the reasons excuses. Like, you can cry when it's the Super Bowl, Kansas City 49ers.
Yeah.
You ain't cry when I was hurting.
Absolutely.
You ain't cry. You didn't show me that emotion when you shut down. That's emotional negligence. That results to the walk away wife syndrome.
Absolutely.
There's a result of your behavior.
But that's why I was going. You talked about the results I was talking about the origin.
And I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. And that's why I said I kind of wanted to even out your panel a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah.
because you give that, and those are the answers from a universal men's point of
Yeah,
view.
yeah.
It's just that for us, we want to make y'all, we not make y'all, we want y'all here. We
Yeah.
want you here in your own self first, though. You know how confident how it makes a woman feel, a man confident no matter what he does.
Yeah.
Like when I
But
like
he's
bad
dealing,
guys, I
he's
like bad guys that were confident.
but he's living with so many little boy issues. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
And see, that's where, again, where once we understand that, because people come into our lives and they challenge us, but because we're not mature enough,
Yeah.
mamas who in love with their little boys, like you said, he keeps doing things over and over. See, but the difference is, love bug, is that that's your husband, my husband, somebody else's man child. Mine is different. Do you get that?
Say
But
that again.
when we say that, when you say that women make excuses for their sons,
Okay.
but
okay.
not for their men.
No, I didn't say excuses.
Well, not excuses,
Yeah.
but he get away with stuff,
Okay.
the same thing. But I produce that.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware that I am enabling.
Exactly.
And now he's going to be somebody else. He's going to be another
Absolutely.
woman's
issue.
Ooh, you know,
Issue.
instead of, I knew he had a bad attitude.
Absolutely.
But I put it off on everything else. No, he just doesn't like this. And he does. No, your child.
So listen, what I'm going with Faith's comment because it sparked. She says, I don't want to deal with any little boy issues. Now, every man is going to have some little boy issues.
Every man.
So you gonna be so you're just made a commitment to be single, because every man, now some are greater than others, because we men are boys who play with toys. Our toys are just more expensive. It ain't no little truck no more. It's his car. It ain't no little toy boat. He got a real boat. He just we got toys. They just now they're bigger and more expensive. Now that does not mean now you shouldn't tolerate.
Right.
You shouldn't tolerate, because you can challenge a man
who's being
consistently, even if he doesn't want the challenge at that moment. That don't mean you have to take it as rejection or it injure your ego. If you want them better and they welcome it, that's just like I was talking about my wife with exercise. I can't take it personal.
That wasn't for real, y'all. I've been walking.
I said I can't take it personal because that's her personal decision not to go. Now that's why don't ask me to be your accountability partner no more, because you don't never want. That's me. I've inserted myself into her personal proclivity or hang up. That don't have nothing to do with me.
And another version of that could be, because now you've made me a project.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because if you are connected with somebody
and you cannot,
and you see that they're toxic in the way that they think on other issues, when it comes down to those type of perilous issues that become perilous, you have to learn the difference.
And you can't be in a lover's relationship with a project.
Right.
You can be in a platonic relationship with a project, but you cannot be in
that platonic. What did you say? You can be in a what?
Platonic.
What?
It means
I didn't hear. What did you
say? Platonic.
No, I heard platonic, but you said you can be in a
platonic relationship.
Right.
And make them a project.
Right. Which is called a friendship.
Friendship. But you cannot be with a lover and make them a project.
Right. Because they're going to drain you.
Yeah.
And you have no choice but to personalize their toxicity. Yeah, because their toxic ways, the way that people love, again, we really do not take that serious. The way that I know what love is and what you know what love is may be completely different from different.
See, I have to I'm Faith. That's my daughter, Faith. So we all have issues. I'm not dealing with traumatized men who I have to raise. Can I tell you who was one? Me.
Oh, God.
She raised me and I was in trauma.
But you have to, but I think
I'm not sitting here saying that you got to put up with an abusing,
right.
dogmatic, nasty. There is a difference, but I don't want you. It is, and it really sounds like there's some healing that needs to take place in that area with you, and that's okay. That's okay, because me and you know what you came out of. There needs to be some healing, but don't spew those comments like I ain't dealing with that, because there could be some treasure in trash. There could be a diamond in that's covered in that cold looking.
The only difference is that diamond knows that it's a diamond in the rough. It knows that it's a rose from that grew out of the concrete. It knows that it needs watering.
And this is how they know. This is how they would know. They won't abuse you, but they abuse themselves.
Right.
That makes the difference. They don't come at you. They're more harder on themselves. That's when you know there's a diamond there.
Right. But there's still a process that makes a diamond be presented on the show, on the
willingness
on the show. It has to be the
willingness. It has to be willingness.
Now you can't be this, he has so much potential but full of hell, or he's so loving but is contradictory with his love, or he's one person here and another person there. Those are things that we cannot ignore. That's not a pink flag. That's not a purple flag. That is a red flag. So then when we take that on and invite that into our lives and invite that into our spirit, that's why we then become angry and bitter.
So there are some issues that don't show up until later. That is so good and that is right.
Yeah.
But
prelude.
If you take time, there was a prelude or preview to a coming attraction that we ignore. There are some issues that there going to always be some issues that come later, but the core of that person is not nasty, dogmatic, abusive, all those type of things. Right. Look at the core of it. There's gonna always be some issues that come later, but I need to know. I mean, if this is the preview, girl, I will take your head off. Don't ignore that. But I'm saying, but he didn't touch you, he didn't hit you, but he alluded to what he would do.
Did you see my inside right then when I didn't know what you were doing? But
because I've never done that.
Right. But this is the thing. Like, I immediately felt what that would have felt like if that were real. And how many of us will push that down? Yeah. When I thought that was me, but no, that was an internal trigger.
Absolutely.
I've just learned to now, woo, that was close. Now, when I'm driving home after hanging out with you, I need to think about that. And I need to ask you, man with the gold hat on who I was out with the other night, what was that reaction about? Because that made me a little uncomfortable. Like, are you quick to be, what you do when you angry? Because, woo, that's not on I didn't sign up for that.
That's good, Pastor. Pastor Smith said, can the woman help the brother discover that he is a diamond? You answer that.
Oh,
man.
Absolutely. Look at
I was just about to say me. I was just about to say that.
No. I say that with all seriousness. That goes with the challenging of one that comes with friendship, that you had to figure out that I'm challenging you, but it's with love. I'm challenging you, but it's with constructive criticism. I'm challenging you, but it's with respect and honor. And all those things, if you're not used to being challenged for one, you won't know which direction, like, what do I do with this? And that's where you were at first. It was like, what do I do with this? Because you're too calm to be confronting me. You're too calm to be, this is how it feels to be built up. This don't sound right. Or having tough conversations. It's a woman actually, let me tell you, that is so profound. Whoever asked
Pastor
that,
Smith.
Because I was just thinking that a man, based on a woman and who she is, when he marries, when he connects with a woman, it's like his social life becomes hers. Her world becomes his. They now intertwine. So if a woman likes luxury or nice things, he now becomes acquired to these things. If a woman is loud and rambunctious, he now like becomes that over there. Now, where it is in any environment, we can be the best versions of ourselves, but we have to ask, what is, as a single person, what is your expectations out of your life? What does it look like? What does your social life look like? What is raising and having a family look like with kids? What does co-parenting look like? All those type of conversations have to be had. And when you see, if dots don't connect with what it is that you see based on what you want to see, that shows you how much work am I willing to put in. Absolutely. Because you have to learn from every stage of relationship that you've gone through. I may have been with somebody for 13 years before, but the next person, once I figured out after 3 years, it was done. And then I get to a point where I can be cool with somebody for 3 months, and I already know that he's in friend zone forever. 3 days, I already know what you're about. You have to build up your most holy faith, and the more you are intimate and have that relationship with God, He builds you up.
But isn't it the fantasy or the desperation of the woman that makes her ignore what's apparent and what she sees, or opportunity?
I think it's the matters of the heart.
Explain that.
What we've told ourselves our lives should be or look like or mirror at a certain age. Because if my friends, like when I talk about me and falling off from some friends, because I thought like they were doing some mature stuff and I was not ready for that, obviously. So it's comparison kills. And then you're connected with somebody over here, and what does that look like? And you're all over the place. But when it comes down to the matters of the heart, how it is that what you want from someone, you have to be willing, like, to be patient, that you're building that up behind closed doors, that you're so disciplined that you take yourself. It's like going to the gym or regimen. I have to repeat it. I had to repeatedly tell myself over and over in my affirmations, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Do you understand how much I have to keep saying that? Even to this day, I look with tears at the man in the mirror and I have to tell her, you are worth it. That's good. And because I am now believing that, now it's my job to exude that onto you.
But see, brokenness doesn't afford you the opportunity for patience.
Right.
When you are damaged and broken, you remove the time element out of the way because you want it now. I want it now. I want it to work now. I want it to be okay now. It's going to be, here it is. Everybody you meet is a project. Just don't make them an experiment. What I mean by that is they are God's project. They are God's assignment. I was talking with a premarital with a couple. I said, we spend so much time trying to change each other that we don't get an opportunity to be in relationship with each other. And our changing is because, like I said from the beginning, you're asking somebody to change for you and you're looking through broken lenses. What are they changing to? You can't even see. You can't even see a whole woman or a whole man, a healed woman or a healed man. You can't see. You dysfunctional. Your thoughts are off. Your expectations are unreal, but you're trying to change somebody. Wouldn't it be better to change myself so that I can see clearly and properly? Now I can have expectations of you, because if my lens is broken and my thoughts are there, I can't see properly, then my expectations will most likely be unrealistic. Or I will be expecting something from them that I'm supposed to be getting from God. I'm going to be expecting something from them that I was supposed to get from my daddy. I'm going to be expecting something from them that I was supposed to get from my mama or whoever it is. And so the part of the process is being honest with yourself to say, you know what? My thoughts ain't even right. Let me get me some help from myself.
I think that's.
But here's the problem, babes. Will they be around while I'm getting the help? Will they be there If it takes me 6 months, I've lost that person.
Well, the focus should never be on holding.
But it is.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But that's where the next level of growth is, that if I lose this person while I'm growing in my wilderness, then so be it.
That's so
because
good.
I have
That's
to
so
believe
good.
that out of 7 billion people, one man who comes around, what if I do connect with somebody and God forbid something happens to him? Now did God ain't nobody else for you? No, it's the willingness to move on to yet somebody else. But you cannot just give me this bottle of water right here and just say that this, just because it has something on the inside, that's what's good for my thirst. That's going to quench my thirst. No, that's what you like. That's what you have. I am thirsty, but I don't have to like this brand. I don't, just because it's what it is that both of us know it is. I may want that, but that kind, I don't need that. I don't want that.
Listen, I'm telling you, before we get it, stop being with people. Most of us are more vested in them than they are in themselves.
Right.
And that's the challenge that we're getting with people who we are more invested into them than they even want for themselves. Mm-hmm. And so I would pause relationships to get myself together so that I can see differently and clearly. Because a man, I don't know how we got on here talking about relationship. I was talking about the way men think.
Because relationship starts with self first.
Yeah. Men, you will not be able to change a man. And if you do change him, he's changing with an objective.
Absolutely.
And a purpose in mind. And when that objective is met, he goes back to normal. That's where the inconsistency comes. All right, you get mad with him, put him in the doghouse, and because you don't know how to talk to me, he gonna talk right till he get out the house, the doghouse. Mm-hmm. When he get out, then he reverts back to his normal. The reason he reverts back to his normal, because he has not, he has not changed.
Oh, right.
He just made an adjustment to appease you. And that goes back to, do he want it for himself? Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell them all, you got to let a man get it for himself. Yes. If you do it for him, if you make it easy for him, we will keep doing what we can get away with. And that is, if we can get away, hush, baby. If we can get away with it, if you let us do it, we're going to keep doing it. We don't stop on our own. We will not step back and say, oh, you know what? I just got a revelation. Well, that's not going to happen. You waited for that to happen. It is not going to happen. If you let him hit you once, he going to keep hitting you until you stop him. If you let him do this, physically hit. If you let him talk to you any kind of way, he's going to keep talking. If you let him have sex with you before y'all get married, that date is gone. He ain't thinking about that date anymore.
See, and a lot of women, especially, if you make a man a project and you start doing things for him, buying him things, and now you know that he's showing you that he really is not ready to be in a relationship, but you are insisting on being with this person. I have seen where women emotionally manipulate a man because of the intimacy. But you said you love me. But his ways, his actions did not line up with that. And oftentimes I've seen too many times where then they get married and now she at the altar every Sunday because you saw this, you asked for this. And so I say to any gender, it is very selfish to be with someone when you've never been in a relationship with yourself. It is the most selfish thing that you could do is not know what you want or need out of a relationship, but you are hell bent on y'all looking good on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. But does he have what you need? Can he lead in times of? Is he going to love my child the way that as if it's his? Is he going to be the man that I need to lead? Just because they're a man with 2 feet and a penis does not make them be the man for you. Yes, he's a good guy, but is he the guy for you? And that's where we have to have relationships around us that challenge us, that say, he's a good guy, but is that the one for you? You exude intelligence, you exude confidence, you exude that, but when you with him, you act different.
Yeah.
When you with him, you're not being yourself. When you're with her, you mousy up. That ain't cute. That's not confident. That's not what one would want to be. Don't attach with me because I'm lost. I love you, but I need to, baby, I need space right now. That does not mean that I don't love you. Yeah, I know, but we started off wrong. Can we be friends? Grown
Oh,
people
it's
can
hard to
stop,
do
but
that.
grown
That sound
friends,
good. It's
but I've
hard.
seen it.
Yeah.
Grown people can do it
I believe
because you know why?
mature people
Because
can do it.
because something done clicked on in that noggin to say I can't. I don't want to lose. Like something. If your brain is stimulated
Yeah.
and you still thinking about my conversation,
Yeah.
I already did something different.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna talk to I'm gonna talk to
Absolutely.
this. That's intimacy for me.
Yeah.
And so the way that you resolve something, oh, that's attractive. The way that you handle something, oh my gosh, that was a turn on. But as my friend, I'm acknowledging that, and that makes me then fall in love. But you gotta earn this. You gotta earn this.
I got you.
But you're the diamond. But I had to know. But seriously, we are in relationship with who we are. You attract who you are.
Yeah.
So there's no way that God would allow us to connect if we don't have, is it the friendship or is this something different? See, because we're gonna attract friends that are supposed to be in our life, but you ain't supposed to marry every friend.
That's it. I'm put you out my show.
Oh, well, I'm gone. Bye. I'm gonna have my own show. I'll see you coming soon, Coach Christie.
I'm out. Y'all have a good night. I hope something we said hit you and you get it. I answered 20 plus something questions. So I answered as many as I can. I probably will try to do this again. I so want people to understand, because if when you don't understand the way that a person thinks, you will think something's wrong with you. You would think something's wrong with you. Um, if you don't be able to see their thoughts, see the way they respond and act, to be like, that's something that's going on within them, you'll start questioning you. You'll start thinking, what's wrong with me? What is going on? Why have I not been with someone? Why do they walk out my life? Maybe because you have expectations and they're running to something that's easy. Are you okay with that? Are you okay that he is not ready to change his thinking and he wants something easy and convenient? Are you ready for that? So, hey, I love y'all. I hope this blessed you. Um, and I hope you really got something. I pray God's blessing on you. Have a great night. Grace and peace.